From South Dakota Public Broadcasting, this is special coverage of the Governor's Budget Address for fiscal year 2016. Hello, I'm Kara Hetland with Stephanie Rissler. We're coming to you live on SDPB TV, radio, and online.
We really don't know what to expect today from Governor Daugaard, but we are told from a few lawmakers it should be low-key. There should be no major announcements, but just like all of the budget addresses that the governor has delivered, he kind of leaves it to the very end. We find out as you find out. One of the things that we will be doing as the governor delivers his points today, we will be very active on social media. Both Kara and I, we will be tweeting. You can follow us, Stephanie, SDPB, Kara, SDPB, and of course we've got SDPB News. You can follow that on Twitter. If you want to join the conversation, if you want to create the conversation, you can do so. Use hashtag SDBudget. We'll also be using hashtag SDLeg, SDLEG. We want to know what you think. We want to know maybe what you did not hear today. As always, we'll interview lawmakers immediately after the address. We might be able to ask some of those questions from you today.
Absolutely. Be sure and keep in touch throughout online and social media throughout the entire legislative session. We'll do follow-up stories at your suggestions.
Right now, Lieutenant Governor Matt Michaels is in front of the House of Representatives. They've just delivered the Pledge of Allegiance. I think it would be appropriate now to go to the floor of the House.
Not later than the first Tuesday of the first Monday of December, immediately preceding the session for consideration by the legislature. In accordance with the Constitution of the great state of South Dakota, our governor shall propose a budget in which expenditures or appropriations may not exceed anticipated revenue and existing funds available for expenditures or appropriations. Appropriations by the legislature may not exceed anticipated revenue and existing funds available for the expenditure or appropriations. Mr. Sergeant at Arms, would you please announce the arrival of the governor of the great state of South Dakota?
Lieutenant Governor and members of the legislature, the Honorable Governor of the state of South Dakota, Dennis Daugaard.
Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome. And glad you're all here with us. And the weather is a little bit warmer today than yesterday. And it's a good day to be inside still in December. And thank you and welcome. Today I offer my budget proposal for fiscal year 16. I'm going to try and stick to my script so the agony is not prolonged by ad libs. But before I begin this budget speech, I'd like to welcome the new legislators who may be joining us today. And I'd like to say a special thank you to the legislators who will not be returning in January for your great service over these last years. I thank you for your service to our state, and I wish you well. Well, all those who are not returning next year who may be present, I don't know if there are any here with us. If so, would you stand and be recognized for your service? Anyone here? Manny, welcome. Lance. In today's remarks, I'm going to be updating you on the state's economy, reviewing our revenues and expenses for the current year, and then, of course, proposing those revenues and expenses for next year. To begin, in looking back, we all know how difficult it was 4 years ago when we were languishing in the Great Recession and difficult decisions had to be made. In my view, we acted responsibly, reduced our spending, and balanced our budget. And we've seen steady improvements to the economy since then. We've budgeted responsibly in the meantime by projecting revenues conservatively, and we've kept ongoing expenses under control. Fiscal year 14 marked our third consecutive year of budget surplus at year end. Every budget I have proposed and you have adopted has ended in the black. And over the last 3 years, we've been able to add to our rainy day funds. As you can see by the chart here, the surpluses have been rooted in both revenue improvements and expenditure controls to create the year-end figures. Looking at this chart, you may be concerned by the trend you see here, and when I first saw the chart, I was too. Now, when you look into the numbers more, it becomes explainable. The red parts of each bar show the degree to which we're spending less than the money that was appropriated. These have been fairly stable. We've been spending less than what you appropriated, between $7 and $13 million less every year. Most of these reversions have been in our entitlement areas, particularly in Medicaid, where we've been able to control spending below the appropriated levels. The blue parts of each bar depict revenue received beyond the adopted expectation. And these revenue numbers are consistent with an economy that's recovering from a recession. It's difficult to predict how quickly an economy will recover. We remain conservative and didn't build our budgets on hopes of a fast recovery, and I think that was the right move. We would rather have extra money than find ourselves in a hole when we predict too rosily what the expectation might be. All that being said, things have changed a little bit, and we're going to see in a few charts that we find ourselves with revenues coming in under projections. However, let's first look at how those surpluses have affected our rainy day funds. This chart represents our rainy day fund balances, and the numbers are combining the property tax reduction fund and the budget reserve fund into one rainy day fund collective. First, look at the blue line and the left axis to see the value in dollars. Follow that blue line. Starting in fiscal year 03, we had just over $100 million in reserves. Then next year, it grew to just under $160 million. Then over several years, it fell down to just over $100 million again. And then in recent years, we've added nearly $82 million to our rainy day funds. Then after spending for disasters and debt reduction last year, we're at $149 million today. The red line at the right axis represents the percentage of our general fund expenditures that the rainy day dollars represent. If you look at fiscal year 03, we started at about 12% reserves against what we were spending. Then it went up to about 18% of expenditures, then back to around 13% for a few years, then down around 9 to 10% for a few years, and then up, ending today at about 11.5% of our general fund expenditures. Nationally, if you compare South Dakota to other states, the spring 2014 National Association of State Budget Officers fiscal survey of the states reveals that the average among most states is about 5.7%. So our 11.5 is pretty good as compared to that average. Next, I want to update you on the trends we're seeing in the South Dakota economy. South Dakota's economy has long been viewed as a lagging economy, meaning changes to the national gross domestic product or the national employment numbers or housing starts are seen in South Dakota a little bit later. The way I like to express it, if the world was going to end, you want to be in South Dakota because it'll happen here a little bit later than the rest of the world. That was an ad lib. That's not here. I don't see that here, Jason. South Dakota continued its lagging trend when entering the recession. In fact, when the U.S. economy went into recession, it took about 10 months before we started to see the recession here in South Dakota. However, when the recovery took place, South Dakota actually emerged in recovery sooner than the U.S. economy. We saw our economy recover its lost jobs over 2 years sooner than the national economy did. In short, our economy fell later and not as far, and then recovered sooner than the United States economy, the best of both possible outcomes. At the national level, we're now seeing post-recession economic growth, which is comparable to the growth South Dakota saw a few years ago. Let's take a look now at how we're matching up against the national economy. These are some of the economic dashboards we review regularly. The top left graph, this shows the unemployment rate. South Dakota is in blue, and the U.S. unemployment rate is in red. The shaded area, those bars, you can't see very well on the projection here, but they're shaded areas that represent the past two economic recessions in the nation. As you can see, both South Dakota and the United States realized a sharp increase in the unemployment rate during the recession. In South Dakota, unemployment reached 5.3%. In the United States as a whole, it reached 10%. The unemployment rate has been dropping since 2010. As of October, the most recent data that's available, South Dakota had an unemployment rate of 3.3%. That's second lowest in the nation, behind only North Dakota. The U.S. unemployment rate in October was 5.8%. One factor contributing to the sharp reduction in the national unemployment rate is the number of people who have dropped out of the labor force. They're not counted in the unemployment numbers because they're not looking anymore. They've given up. As the number of people actively searching for employment decreases, the unemployment rate decreases despite the lack of significant job creation in the economy. Now let's look at the top right graph, non-farm employment growth. This shows on a year-over-year percentage growth basis. Again, South Dakota is represented by the blue line and the United States as the red line. Since about the middle of 2012, the U.S. economy has been adding jobs at a faster rate than South Dakota. Remember, the U.S. lost significantly more jobs at one point during the recession, losing jobs at nearly 5% rate for a few months. South Dakota's relative rate of job loss was only half of the United States during the recession. The U.S. is finally catching up to where South Dakota did on a relative basis, and that's the reason it's been growing jobs at a seemingly faster rate than South Dakota. The bottom left shows the Consumer Price Index on a year-over-year growth rate over the past several years. That's a measure of overall inflation. Inflation continues relatively low in the 1.5% to 2% range, still less than the Federal Reserve target, which allows the Fed to be patient when adjusting interest rates. Low inflation means we'll likely see lower than historical growth in some of our major tax sources in South Dakota, sales and use tax, for example. At the same time, it also means slower growth in our expenditures as well. Costs are rising more slowly. In the bottom right, this chart shows the year-over-year growth in non-farm income. In South Dakota, we've been tracking similar to the United States average over the past several quarters, but still realizing less than historical average growth rates. So we're both slower than normal. Low rates of inflation will affect non-farm income growth as well. Let's now look at how well we've been doing in projecting these economic variables. Many United States economic variables can help predict how the South Dakota economy performs. In fact, you may know the Bureau of Finance and Management, when they project our income, they use national variables that are correlated to how our South Dakota tax revenues come in. Because the 2014 economy has not been growing as fast as predicted, the forecast for 2015, because this chart is talking about what are the forecasted numbers for next calendar year, they've been revised downward twice. Look at this chart column here. These are the numbers last February, just before we adjourned the session. These were the numbers that were being predicted for calendar year 2015. By July, every economic forecast for 2015 had been adjusted down, and these are numbers not created by us, but created by Global Insights, which is a national econometric firm, probably one of the most commonly used by the states for economic projecting. As you look down the chart, you can see the percentages in virtually every case were reduced between 0.3 to 0.4 of a percentage point. By October, Most variables were projected even still lower. Only consumer spending was projected to be stronger, and we saw in our South Dakota non-farm employment a little bit of strength. Otherwise, everything else was adjusted downward still further. When we built our 2015 spending proposals last session, we made assumptions of these projections, how those variables would grow. And because these benchmarks have been revised downward, it now becomes much more unlikely that we'll achieve our revenue estimates. We built the 2015 budget assuming, for example, look at real GDP around the center of the chart. When we built the budget, it was 3.3% predicted for next year. Now it's all the way down to 2.7%. Today, you'll see that the South Dakota forecasted indicators have been revised lower. As I mentioned, we have to use realistic assumptions when we use economic indicators to make revenue forecasts. Upon review of the most recent South Dakota-centric numbers, it appeared to be too optimistic when reviewed with the Governor's Council of Economic Advisors. Ralph Brown and other economists from around the state come together. They look at Global Insights numbers, and then they give South Dakota opinion about them. We hear from farm implement dealers, for example, and say, well, gee, it looks like it's growing in the national level, but we're not doing so well in South Dakota. So the revision you see here in the rightmost column represents a more realistic forecast, we believe, that's achievable given the current economic conditions. For you farmers, it's sort of like when you buy a combine when corn is at $7 a bushel, and then you go to make your first payment and corn is only bringing $2.70 a bushel. Let's now see how those new economic variables will affect our revenues that we project for the remainder of the current year. We're about halfway through the FY15 year, and for the entire 2016 fiscal year. You can recognize this chart as one I've used in the past for you returning legislators to explain why we need to be careful as we forecast revenue that we'll have to spend from year to year. This chart compares ongoing general fund revenue as adopted to the actual revenues that we later received. For example, look at the first line. When the legislature in 2004, adopted a revenue estimate for the 05 budget, we predicted $952 million would be received. We actually received about $4 million more than that, and the difference on the right-hand side. In fiscal years 2005 through 2008, before the recession, the forecasts were pretty close to actual collections, with actual collections a little bit lower in 07 and in 08. Then during the recession, our adopted estimates were much too high, and our actual collections were lower in 09 and 2010. Not just lower than adopted, but lower than previous years. So look at that middle column, the actual revenues received in 08. Compare that to 09. Revenue fell. It's not that our recommendation was not only wrong, but we lost revenue. There was no growth. And then it fell still again in fiscal year 10. The result was that we had to use one-time stimulus dollars to balance our budget. In fiscal years 2011 through 2014, the legislature was more conservative in adopting estimates as the actual collections for ongoing revenues exceeded the original adopted estimate each year. This is something we saw in that earlier bar chart. This meant we had extra one-time money to spend in those years. Now in 2015, it looks like we may have projected too high again. We're currently running below our adopted levels, and the revisions for the current fiscal year suggest we're going to be about $10.7 million short of the adopted ongoing revenue estimate. Now that's the ongoing revenue estimate. Now, if you compare South Dakota's situation to other states, according to the National Association of State Budget Officers' fall fiscal survey of the states, we were surveyed in September along with the other states. That's going to be released next week. 7 states are seeing revenue come in above projections, 7. About 26 are on target, and in September we thought we'd be on target. So we're among those 26. 10 at that time had already seen that they're in deficit. Wisconsin's in deficit. Delaware, I think, is in deficit. There are several states that are in deficit situation. They're going to have to address it when their legislature convenes. The next chart shows more detail of the revised forecast for this year, for fiscal year 2015. We're almost halfway through it. Sales and use tax has been revised lower by $6.5 million as our collections have been soft so far this fiscal year. Softer overall economic growth and fewer purchases of farm equipment are impacting sales tax this year. Lottery has been revised lower by 0.9 million. This represents the instant and online portion of the general fund. The contractor's excise tax has been lowered slightly from 95.4 to 94.9 million, but still anticipates relatively strong spending on construction. This is still a good number. The insurance company tax has been improving as collections this year have been robust, reflecting continuing premium increases in property, casualty, and health insurance. Unclaimed property revenues have been revised lower. The adopted estimate of 60.2 million has been revised lower to 54.2. And I'll have more detail on this in a later chart. Licenses, permits, and fees have been revised up 1.3 million, primarily because of security fee revenue that's been stronger. Interest income, this has been revised down. I am proposing a change on how this income is accounted for into our general fund. I'll cover this in more detail later. But remember this 0.8 million figure. Property tax reduction fund revenue, that's the state's share of video lottery revenue. That's growing more than anticipated this year, so that's been increased. Other ongoing revenues, which include several other categories, have been revised slightly higher for 2015. The revised total ongoing revenue indicates $1,381.1 million, which is 10.7 million lower than the adopted forecast. And those are all ongoing revenue sources. But we do have some one-time revenue collected or expected based on my recommendation to do today, if you agree. The first number, 6.7 million, identified as one-time revenue, is comprised of two items. First, $5.4 million is refinancing gains realized or expected from refunding bonds through the South Dakota Building Authority. This also includes some funds that were remaining after the bonds were defeased earlier this year. Remember, we spent a lot of our unclaimed property money on paying off some bonds, and some you couldn't actually call, but you had to escrow some funds so that those bonds could be paid off when they came due. Turns out the investments that we're getting in those escrowed funds are better in terms of their rates than we had expected to get. So there's a little bit of money that comes back to us. And then the second part of this 6.7 number is the remaining funds in the large project construction account under the old 1045B statutes that permitted refunds of sales and use tax and contractors' excise tax. You know, we ended that program, but we still had potential claimants out there, and there was put a hard deadline of September of this year that any claimants have to make claim on those funds by September. And now that that date has come and gone, there is about $1.3 million left in that fund that is a one-time revenue. The 18.4 number is also comprised of two items. Both represent savings from proposed repeals of certain expenditures. They're reductions to expenditures. However, for accounting purposes, we need to recognize them as one-time revenues. One is 2.4 million of one-time revenues that will come from the South Dakota Risk Pool Reserve, which I am proposing to repeal. And then $16 million of one-time funds will come from discontinuing the $16 million Medicaid reserve. More about these later. In total, though, including these one-time revenue sources, the total revised revenue is $1,406.2 million, or 14.4 million higher than the adopted forecast. Again, 18.4 million of increase comes from these reduced one-time expenditures. So now let's look at our projections for fiscal year 16. This shows the revised 2015 numbers on the left. These are the numbers I just showed, what the revision recommendation was. So on the left are the revised 2015 revenues, and then on the right, or in the center column, the estimated projection for 2016, which begins, of course, next July and ends June 30 of 2016. You'll notice some changes in how the revenue is categorized for 2016, as I'll be recommending legislation to make some changes on how revenues are allocated to the general fund. This legislation will repeal several unnecessary funds, including the Property Tax Reduction Fund. Now, these changes do not represent any net new increase to general fund revenue. It merely simplifies how revenue flows to the general fund. Let's go through it. Sales and use tax collections for 2016 are estimated at $879 million, an increase of $34.8 million over the revised 15 estimate. This represents a growth rate of 4.1%. It's less than historical growth, but still assumes a growing economy for 2016. In FY 2016, beyond the instant and online lottery revenues, the lottery category, if you agree, will include the state's share of video lottery revenue, as I'm recommending to repeal the Property Tax Reduction Fund to allow those revenues to flow directly to the state general fund. And in 2016, video lottery is projected to grow about 3.5%. So this just simply consolidates and makes it more transparent, in my view. To call a revenue source by the name of some fund is really not very transparent in my mind. And this will simplify things and make it more transparent. Again, they don't represent any net new increase to general fund revenue. It just simplifies things. The contractor's excise tax is forecast to grow $5 million in 2016. FY 2016, that's a 5.3% growth rate, indicating continued healthy construction activity in South Dakota that we hope will occur. We've increased, or we're predicting an increase in insurance company tax of $4.1 million. That's also a 5.3% increase over the revised 2015 estimate. Unclaimed property is up $2.5 million in 2016, and I'll review that revenue source in more detail in just a minute. Licenses, permits, and fees up $1.7 million, mostly from growth in security fees anticipated for 2016. And interest income is up $3.4 million, reflecting my recommendation to change the current interest proration practice. And again, I'm going to cover that also in more detail in another slide. The Property Tax Reduction Fund revenues will be relabeled for 2016 and included as lottery, as shown above. If you accept my recommendation, that's why there's not applicable in that column. And the other ongoing revenue is up 19.8. And this is mostly due, again, to the repeal of the Property Tax Reduction Fund. Not only does it get video lottery money flowing through that fund, also the telecommunications tax flows into and out of that fund, as does some of the tobacco tax flows into and then back out of that fund. Now these two, telecommunications tax and tobacco tax, they'll be included in this other revenue category. Total ongoing revenue for FY16 is up $60 million as compared to the revised FY15 estimate of total revenue. If compared to the originally adopted 2015 revenue estimates, the new money available to spend will be $49.4 million. So $60 million if you compare it to the original ongoing adoption. Since we're revising 15 down, it's $49 million. Excuse me, since we're revising it down, it's $49 million against the revised number, 60 against the new number, the revised number. We do not anticipate any one-time revenue for 2016, so of course total revenue is projected at $1,441.2 million, up $35 million from the total revised 2015 forecast. Now let's look at a couple of things in more detail. First, we'll look at the unclaimed property line on that chart here, revised for 2015 to $54.2 million and $56.7 million for FY16. Let's look at that in more detail. Excuse me. South Dakota's unclaimed property revenues, you know, have become significant in the past several years. A change in dormancy laws, coupled with the designation of home bank offices in South Dakota, have resulted in unclaimed property in South Dakota growing from just 350,000 in fiscal year '02 to a net of nearly 114 million in fiscal year '14. Estimating unclaimed property ongoing is a challenge, and we need to be careful as we project for future years. This chart shows how we have estimated unclaimed property revenue. In the first two columns, you can see our remitters of unclaimed property and the amounts we estimated they would remit in 2015. From our two large holders, large holder 1 and large holder 2, we expected 32.6 million and 27.6 respectively. We assumed about 5.5 million would come from the rest of the remitters beyond these two big ones. And that claims paid out would also be about 5.5. Of course, when the money comes in, our treasurer makes it known and people come and claim those dollars. And we assumed about 5.5 for a net of 60.2. Now, unclaimed property must be remitted to the state by November 1st. So we've already got the money for this fiscal year. So we know actual collections. This year we received 28 million from one and 31.8 million from the other large holder, and about 4.4 million from all the other remitters of unclaimed property. However, our claim payments and reciprocity payments, which are payments to other states, have been larger than anticipated. Already this fiscal year, we've paid out 5.8 million. Out of this 10 you see there, we've already paid 5.8, which is more than we thought we'd pay for the whole year. And so we're projecting that to grow to 10 million by the end of 2015. Thus, after considering the higher claim payments, the total unclaimed property estimate for this fiscal year has been revised to 54 million, which is, of course, 6 million less than we had estimated it would be. The rightmost blue column shows what we're projecting for 2016. We're assuming the same levels of collections for 2016 from the two large holders and from the rest. And the main change in fiscal year 2016 is we are anticipating 7.5 million in claim and reciprocity payments. I first questioned that. Why would we drop down? That's not very conservative. Well, the answer is about 2.3 million of the 10 is from an anomaly that we don't expect to recur. It's one large reciprocal payment due another state, and we don't expect that to recur in 2016. So in total, you can see we're projecting $56.7 million in unclaimed property in 2016. And you can see that's 3.5 million below the original 15 adoption, but it's a little bit higher than what we believe we're going to get this year in 2015. The other thing I promised to talk a little bit more about is this 90% interest proration. Now, don't try and figure out the numbers. Just listen to me for a moment, if you would. Don't look at that. Just listen to me. One thing that impacts our revenue is how we treat revenue and when you acknowledge receipt of revenue and treat it as received. That's an accounting decision. This chart shows my recommendation to reverse a methodology that we've been employing called, in short, a 90% interest proration practice. This practice was employed over a decade ago when the state needed money to accelerate by 1 year the recognition of interest earned by the general fund cash. It recognizes 90% of that earning a year earlier than you'd otherwise had been recognizing it historically. No other participating fund in the general fund cash account does this. The general fund for the general fund budget is the only participating fund that does this. The Board of Regents doesn't do this. The Highway Fund doesn't do this. Game Fish and Parks doesn't do this. Only our share that's general fund that's not assigned to one of these other entities does this. I was unaware of this practice until BFM and the State Investment Council made me aware of it last summer when we were talking about the practices surrounding a general fund cash investments. Many states use accounting gimmicks like this to accelerate revenues into an earlier year or to postpone expenses into a later year to balance their budget on a nominal basis. This is done, in my opinion, to avoid making hard choices that might be politically unpopular. I dislike these kinds of gimmicks, and I believe we should not employ them in South Dakota. I'm recommending that we reverse this one. Right now, under current law, 90% of the estimated earnings from the cash flow fund that is due to the general fund is transferred early in June, before the close of the fiscal year. We don't even know how much interest we'll earn at the end of the fiscal year. We just guess about what it'll be and transfer it before the end of the fiscal year. The year this was done, it had the result of getting 190% of the interest that fund would earn in 1 year. And then the next year you got the remaining 10% of actual and then 90% of the estimated. And the next year, 10% of actual and 90% of the estimated. So if you adopt my recommendation, well, first of all, that 10% amount is $754,294. And that would be what we would recognize as interest income in fiscal year 2015. If we continue to do what we're doing now, we have increased bureaucracy and activity that does not generate any benefit, except when it created the illusion of improved revenue in the year it was first employed. The bottom chart shows my recommendation that we undo this practice this year in 2015 and allow 100% of the actual earnings to flow to the general fund in the following fiscal year, beginning in 2016, just the way the Board of Regents does it, the Highway Fund does it, Game Fish and Parks does it, and the way, in my mind, we should do it. This will cause a one-time reduction in the current year, 2015, and it'll reduce it down to $750,000 roughly. In 2016, then, the revenue would return to actual earnings and be more typical of what you'd see in a full year's worth of interest earnings. Now let's take a look at our aggregate total revenue picture as compared to last year. This kind of gives you a perspective on how difficult it was to budget this year as compared to last year. Last year at this time, we had the luxury of a $6 million structural surplus that the legislature left on the bottom line. Remember, when we adopted in 2013 the FY14 budget, we were looking at the possibility of federal sequester, we were looking at the possibility of federal government budget shutdown, all kinds of uncertainty. And so the legislature said, let's be careful and leave $6 million unspent on the bottom line, which you did. When you came back last year, that $6 million was there. We don't have that this year, obviously. Last year at this time, we also saw an unexpectedly large unclaimed property dollars, about $33 million in ongoing revenue from unclaimed property that we really didn't expect to see. This year, you can see we've now instead of revising up our ongoing revenue by $33 million, as we did at this time last year, we had to revise down our ongoing revenue by about $11 million. Last year, we were looking at $40 million in new projected ongoing revenue growth. That included our assumptions for a full year of the collection allowance by retailers, as well as the potential to lose the grandfathered status of our sales tax collected on internet access. And without those two potential reductions, we're actually going to do better in terms of our projected ongoing revenue growth of $60 million. I know you've heard me in the past state that we've been able to use 2 years' worth of revenue growth to fund 1 year of expenditure growth. Again, that's because we underestimate revenue. When we project for our budget, we come back into session and revenue is doing a lot better. So we've got not only the improvement in the current year, but the projection of further improvement in the out year. That was true with the FY13 budget, the 14 budget, and the 15 budget. However, of course, that's not the case in the 16 budget. It's just the reverse. We overestimated revenue, and it's coming in lower than we thought. So that's sort of globally what the picture is. But let's shift gears now and talk about how I'm proposing to utilize this $49 million that we believe will be available to us in 16. These ongoing expenditure improvements in 16. As I stated before, this will be the first year since FY12 that we will not have a mid-year improvement over adopted revenue numbers. Despite that, we're fortunate that our state expenditures are trending lower than our budget. Expenditures are trending lower than our budget. It's projected to benefit us in a couple of ways. First, the reduction in FY15 expenditures gives us some one-time money because we budgeted to spend X and we're spending less than X. So that difference is available in FY15 to spend on a one-time basis. Then that lower level of expenditures is the new base from which to project actual increases, and we've got some room that we wouldn't otherwise have. By budgeting expenses at levels last year that were conservatively high, this ensures no shortfalls this year, even though our revenues are coming in less than we want. We did the hard work last year in that respect, and we're seeing expenditure trends favorable to budget. Low inflation will also contribute to an affordable level of expenditure growth for fiscal year 16. Let's take a look at that in more detail. As we discussed earlier, inflation has been at relative lows historically. Look at the first three line items: K-12 education, technical institutes, and Board of Regents. The inflator that is used for that is the CPI-W, which is a retrospective look that's about a year old. For the CPI-W, which is a benchmark for education spending, that was at 1.5% for the year ended June 30, 2014. So as of last June 30th, inflation for the year ending on that date was 1.5%. It's actually gone down a little bit, or projecting to go down a little bit from there. As we built the budget, CPI-U, second from the bottom there, that's used for provider inflation, is a prospective number. Economic analysts look at what they think the inflation will be beginning July 1 of 2016 and going forward a year. They're projecting 1.4%. And traditionally for our cost of living, we followed the other percentage above of 1.5% for state workforce. Let me now show you my proposals for 2016 given those inflation numbers. I'll be proposing a rate of 2% increase for K-12 education, the technical institutes, providers, and the state workforce. I'm proposing a 2.3% increase in expenditures related to the Board of Regents total budget. From the Board of Regents perspective, their revenue will be up 1.6%. Even though our expenditure is 2.3 up, their receipts will be up 1.6, and I'll explain more in a minute. Again, all of these increases are higher than what inflation either was or what it's predicted to be in these areas for the coming fiscal year. So everyone should be able to gain a little ground on that basis. This is possible, as I said, because our base operations budget is high enough today in fiscal year 15, higher than we're actually seeing it come in 2015. In addition, there are other savings we can achieve that will allow us to buy up to that 2% mark. This summarizes my expenses in dollar numbers. Education increase would be $15.4 million. This includes a 2% increase for state aid, for special education, and the technical institutes. Additional funding for the Board of Regents increases the four-year value of the Opportunity Scholarship recipients to $6,500 over 4 years, up from the current $5,000 opportunity value today. So again, Opportunity Scholarships today worth $5,000 over 4 years. I'm proposing we raise that to $6,500, and that's why the Board of Regents doesn't get any more money. We're spending that money in the students rather than at the Board of Regents, but it is an expenditure we are making if you adopt my proposal. Medical services and provider assistance would be up $16.2 million. This includes a 2% inflationary increase, as well as 0.5% increase for FMAP, the Federal Medical Assistance Percentage, and funding for a juvenile justice reinvestment initiative, which will be described to you as part of the legislative proposals. Then in state employee compensation, I'm proposing $11.1 million. This would be a 2% market adjustment and family-specific increases for the career bands, along with 2.5% movement toward market value. We've seen favorable conditions in our state health plan, which I'll discuss later, which makes this low dollar possible. All the rest, $6.6 million, this includes money for M&R, that extra 0.5% that moves us a little further down the path toward our goal of having a 2% of building value as an ongoing maintenance and repair budget. It includes utility increases, increased drug and DUI courts, and some additional funding, again, for the Juvenile Justice Reinvestment Initiative. The total of $49.4 million matches the new ongoing revenue that we're projecting above the FY 2015 adopted revenues. Now let's look deeper into each of these subcategories here. First, for education funding, that $15 million number I just showed you, here's how it breaks out. State aid to general education would be $9 million almost. This includes a 2% inflation in general education. It also represents moving the traditional state aid to general education to 2%, and the per student allocation under my proposal is $4,876.76. This amount does not include rolling in technology in the schools, sparsity, and student assessment in the formula, although those savings will be used to help fund the movement to 2%. The state aid to special education is $2.7 million nearly. This includes a 2% inflation adjustment, and included in the formula is $200,000 for the summer school program within the South Dakota School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. The Board of Regents maintenance and repair is $2 million. This is the third year, as I said, of a 4-year plan we started several years ago to get our maintenance and repair budgets to a level which equates to 2% of the replacement value of the state building. So this amount is the cost for the Regental buildings. The Grow Opportunity Scholarships line items, $1.3 million. This will fund the first increase in the value of the Opportunity Scholarship since it was created over 10 years ago. We all know that tuition, we all know that tuition has gone up during that time, and we need to keep the scholarship competitive so it continues to be an incentive for students to take a rigorous high school curriculum and stay in South Dakota for college. Over 3,800 recipients are projected for the coming school year. And as I said, this will raise the scholarship value over 4 years from $5,000 as it currently is to $6,500. Then the next line item is Board of Regents utility costs at $1.2 million. We're projecting a 5% growth factor in utility costs for FY16. And then dual credit increased demand of $802,000. We've seen the dual credit program succeed beyond our projections. We should all be very happy about this. It means more students are getting a head start on college or technical school, and they're earning affordable credits while they're still in high school. We budgeted approximately to fund 2,900 credit hours for the current year, but based on this program's success, we're budgeting for 10,500 credits, over triple that amount for next year. These credits cost students only $40 per credit hour rather than up to $300 per credit hour. They get credit for their high school, toward their high school graduation, as well as getting credit toward a post-secondary degree. It encourages higher utilization, which is beneficial to post-secondary institutions and even more so to the students themselves. It makes those students more likely, in my opinion, to attend a post-secondary school in South Dakota because they're further along, makes them more likely to succeed if they go, and more likely to graduate if they go. The next line item is the Technical Institute's facilities. This is funding to assist their institutes with their facilities. And then miscellaneous increases and decreases total up to a savings of $2 million. There's a number of things in that. $186,000 for Tech Institute bonding through House Bill 1098 passed during the 2013 session, nearly 2 years ago. The state committed to match the Technical Institute's commitment to bond payments on a 1-to-2 ratio. Also an increase of $114,000 for South Dakota STARS, that's ongoing support for a longitudinal data system which provides student data for school districts across South Dakota. An increase of $80,000 for nurse practitioner preceptors. In the FY15 budget process, the Rapid City campus students were not included in the calculations because that program only is offered every other year. So this is the year it's offered. Last year it wasn't. That's why it's not in the FY15 budget. An increase of $59,900 for a 2% increase in the Tech Institute formula. A decrease of $7,000 to reflect a lease payment for 2016. A decrease of $159,000 to reflect adjustments related to insurance costs. And then there's going to be a savings, if you adopt this budget, of $2,600,000 to add technology in the schools, sparsity, and the statewide assessment budgets as a component of the state aid to general education formula. The savings will be used to increase the per-student allocation growth from 1.5% to 2%. This also reflects increases in sparsity and tech in the schools budgets for a net decrease, as shown here, well, I guess before the other increases, of $2,278,000. The next chart details the medical and provider assistance ongoing expense number. You saw that $16 million on an earlier chart. This is made up of a number of things. Provider inflation is about $10 million costs. Again, that's a 2% inflation adjustment for providers. This supports providers such as nursing homes, community support providers, physicians, and many other provider types. Most are Medicaid providers. Secondly, the federal medical assistance percentage, or FMAP, costs us $5.1 million. We're experiencing an increase of 0.5% from 47.88% to 48.38%. This means we'll pay for every $100 of Medicaid expense in South Dakota, the state will pay $48.38, and the federal government will pay the rest. Included in this $5 million increase is a $1.2 million switch from federal funds to general funds because an enhanced match rate from health homes, providing health homes to Medicaid recipients, goes from 10% general funds, 90% federal funds, to the regular FMAP rate of 48.38%. Juvenile Justice Reinvestment Initiative. 2 years ago, you know, I proposed and you approved the Public Safety Improvement Act, which impacted our adult parole and probation systems. And if we'd not passed that legislation, our projections at that time showed that I would be needing to ask you this year for tens of millions of dollars to add to the state women's prison. We avoided that major cost, I believe, thanks to this reform. And this year, I'm proposing to reform our juvenile correction system so that we can continue this success in the juvenile arena. $2.9 million for juvenile justice reinvestment is for the Department of Social Services. They will spend that, 2.3 of that amount in community-based interventions, $150,000 for quality assurance monitoring, $331,000 is training for providers on the functional family therapy model, along with other training needed. Again, this all depended on your support of the Juvenile Justice Reinvestment Initiative. It also includes $83,000 to provide a rate specific to rural providers to serve rural communities, and $47,600 for crisis intervention resident services. All collectively, that's $2,900,000. Second to the last line item before the total is growth and utilization, $1.9 million. Our programs for helping people who can't help themselves are seeing benefits from a strengthening economy. This is reflected in slower growth in the number of persons eligible for Medicaid services and child care subsidies. In fiscal year 16, we're projecting the growth in Medicaid eligibles to be only 858 individuals. I can remember during the recession, there were some months we were adding 1,000 in 1 month. This is 858 for the entire fiscal year, less than 1% of our current enrollees. Caseloads have dropped in child care subsidies, allowing us to save $900,000 in the FY15 and 16 budgets. Additionally, other programs in DSS and the Department of Corrections are experiencing declines in their caseloads, which results in savings of $1.7 million. Miscellaneous increases and decreases, other changes throughout the Departments of Social Services, Health, and Human Services allow us to save $3.8 million or spend less than that than we're spending today in FY16. The largest factor is this, a federal match rate change in our children's health insurance program, where the federal government is paying a higher percentage of the medical bills. The next chart shows the $11 million number, which you saw earlier, broken down for our state workforce. Market adjustments, I'm proposing that permanent state employees receive a 2% market adjustment. Most will receive that 2%, which is essentially a cost of living increase. Employees in the career bands may receive more than that or less than that, dependent upon the market value of their profession. For example, nursing will receive 0. Information technology, 1.1%. Accountants and auditors, 1.7%. Engineers, 2%. Environmental scientists, 6.6%. On balance, the market adjustment is about 2% of gross salaries. The second item there is movement toward market values. That's taking the place of what you've heard us talk about as movement to job worth. I've directed the Bureau of Human Resources to establish a new market-based general pay structure. All permanent employees under my control will be moved into this new market-based structure, and those employees are recommended to receive 2.5% movement toward the new market values if they're below market value for their jobs. In the future, this structure will be used to pay for performance for all employees, with some employees entitled to less and some to more, dependent upon performance. Then finally, career banding pay for performance is one area where we've already adopted pay for performance. We're recommending the continuation of 0 to 4.5% pay for performance for the career band families. Some employees in these groups do receive 0 improvement. Others will receive up to 4%. In total, managers have to demonstrate that they're not rating everyone at the middle. They have to identify those that are underperforming and those that are overperforming and spread the dollars appropriately. You've seen this kind of pay-for-performance system before, and I'm hoping to expand it into more areas of the government. No budget increase is recommended for the employer-paid portion of the state employees' health insurance plan. That's a true bright spot in our budget this year. We're currently estimating a $13 million reserve at the end of 2015, estimating a 12.7 reserve by the end of 2016. Our actuaries recommend a reserve level at $13.3 million, and so we'll be close to that at the end of this fiscal year. All other expense in FY 2016 budget, maintenance and repair, $3.4 million. Again, similar to the regental institutions, the Bureau of Administration is charged with taking care of our state-owned buildings. This is the third year of a 4-year plan to increase the maintenance and repair budget for state buildings to 2% of replacement value. This will bring up our annual appropriation to 1.5%. We have one more year to go after this next one to get to that 2% level. Correctional health is $970,000. This includes $970,000 for treating inmates with hepatitis C, as well as contractual and inflationary increases. Drug and DUI courts, I'm recommending increase of $667,000. They continue to be a successful alternative to incarceration and have helped to reduce recidivism. This funding would establish a drug court in both Brown and Beadle counties, as well as a DUI court in Meade County. Additionally, this increased funding would bring the number of drug and DUI courts in South Dakota to 12 total statewide. Utilities and internal service rates, $648,000. They're charged to the departments by the bureaus. They're expected to increase as the bureau's costs increase due to things like utility costs, employee compensation, and recommended budget changes. The rates they charge also increase. The next item is the Law Enforcement Officers Training Fund. This is a partial fix. Those of you on the Appropriations Committee know this fund has been running in the red. The Law Enforcement Training Fund is used to train law enforcement throughout South Dakota, but the ending cash balance in FY15 is projected to be a negative $1.1 million. In order to be good financial stewards of this fund, I'm proposing this increase in the Attorney General's office and in the Unified Judicial System budgets. This amount includes a funding change from other funds to general funds of $522,000 within the Attorney General's office for space billing and $86,000 within UJS for a training position. Property and casualty insurance is the next line item at $593,000. In order to better protect our state facilities, I'm proposing that we begin the process of self-insuring our state assets. Now, let me repeat that because this is a change that's significant. I'm proposing that we begin the process of self-insuring our state assets, our buildings, our equipment, our vehicles. This provides ongoing funding related to establishment of captive insurance companies that will bring nearly $2 billion of additional insured value into the insurance of a captive. Right now, the building we're sitting in is not insured. Most of the buildings on this campus are not insured. We are dependent upon our emergency and disaster fund in case of a catastrophic loss. That is not an irresponsible approach to take, but I believe a different and better approach would be to create some captive insurance companies, one in the property and casualty arena and one in the liability arena, and pay ourselves to insure our buildings. This amount, the property and casualty insurance ongoing expense, would be the premium we would pay to ourselves in these captive companies and would allow us to have insurance essentially through these captives. It would also insulate us, by insuring ourselves, insulate us from premium increases that are unrelated to our loss experiences. Might be related to a Hurricane Katrina or some other event that's occurring elsewhere in the nation that has nothing to do with us. To continue on the path we are right now is one approach, but that's dependent wholly on our emergency and disaster fund. This approach gains insurance for us in a different way, I think a more responsible way. It will not save us money in the short run. In the long run, I believe it will save us money. So with that ad lib here, get back to my script. Through this proposal, we'll create a captive insurance company for property and casualty and one for liability, add all our properties to the list of those insured, and this will provide immediate coverage for all of them. And over time, as I said, I believe our internal self-insured captive rate will save us ongoing general expense while covering more of our property. The next line item is also related to juvenile justice reinvestment. I'm proposing $300,000 within UJS and $5,000 within the Department of Tribal Relations. That funding is intended to keep youth from formal court processing when appropriate and utilize diversions like teen court. In addition, this funding is also intended to assist counties with the costs of keeping juveniles in detention centers for short-term stays that are appropriate to any variation or misbehavior, rather than sending them to the Department of Corrections. In total, I'm proposing a total increase of $3.2 million in general funds for the Juvenile Justice Reinvestment Initiative, and this is part of it, and you saw the other part under the social service budget. The remainder of increases and decreases for budget adjustments across state government will save is $965,000. And then the state vets home savings. You remember last year when I proposed spending money to pay cash for the state vets home, I said this won't save us money in FY15, but it will save us money in FY16. Here is that saving I promised you a year ago, $1.5 million. This is money that we were fortunate to receive an abundance of one-time funds in 14, and we paid cash for the vets home. Because we're not bonding for that money, and now we're receiving both Medicaid reimbursement and VA per diems, I was planning to use those VA payments and Medicaid per diems to cover the bond payment instead of general funds. Now, we don't need those, and they can offset general funds, and that's why those dollar amounts go down. Now, as I mentioned before, let's go back now to FY15. I said that our expenditures were going to be lower than we projected, and that even though we have some negative cash in our revenue situation, we have some one-time offsets that provide some one-time dollars that we can spend in FY15. Let me explain the areas of reduction and where I'm proposing to redeploy the savings. This chart shows where the available one-time funds for 2015 come from. The nominal surplus, of course, is zero because we don't have that as we did in 2015. Reduced revenues, the total reduced revenues based on revised revenue estimates, including the one-time revenues, total $4 million. Remember, we said it was going to be about 10.7 million less revenue than we thought, but we had 6 million of one-time revenue to offset against that. That leaves a negative of 4 million of reduced revenue that we need to cover some way. And we can reduce some one-time special appropriations. That's 18.4 million. I'm going to show that in the next chart. And then reduction of annual appropriations of $13 million. Total net available of one-time funds to spend in FY15, $27.8 million. Now let's look at the detail on that. The 18 million that I just talked about is from two sources. One, repeal the Medicaid reserve program. Several years ago, we proposed and you adopted a reserve fund for our Medicaid program. It was set at $20 million, and we've never had to use it since it's been established. Last year, you took that reserve and established, through a special appropriation, a contingency fund that would hold the money until it was needed. The primary reason the reserve was created was to sustain the Medicaid program while the legislature was not in session. However, in order to spend from it, the legislature's Appropriations Committee would have to formally act to gain access to these dollars. We're proposing to fund the Medicaid program properly using sound estimates that will ensure the program's funding throughout the year. This reserve then can be redeployed to cover one-time costs I'll lay out in a minute. This repeal, again, would provide $16 million in general funds. Secondly, with the Affordable Care Act and the federal risk pool, there won't be the demand for the state risk pool. The legislature removed the ongoing funding last year, and once the second ACA open enrollment period ends in February, we'll only need funding for the remaining participants. Therefore, we'll be proposing to redeploy that reserve, which was started with state funds, to other areas of priority. This will provide combined those two $18.4 million in expenditure reductions for FY15, as it was shown as a one-time revenue in an earlier chart. You may have seen that. Here are the reductions in the areas of annual appropriation, ongoing reductions I'm recommending for this year. The state aid revision, a decrease of $6.9 million in general funds and state aid to general education due to 354 fewer students than budgeted and higher property valuation growth than budgeted in 2015. Secondly, decreases of $2.6 million in general funds and $600,000 in federal fund expenditure authority due to changes in Medicaid eligibles, utilization, and costs. That's a $2.6 million reduction. Under juvenile placement, a decrease of nearly $1.4 million in general funds due to updated projections which estimate the juvenile population within the Department of Corrections to be fewer than previously anticipated. This is before the Juvenile Justice Reinvestment Act. This is before any impact of that. Child care subsidies and psychiatric residential treatment services revision is 1.296 reduction in general funds and $2.1 million in federal fund expenditure authority due to decreases in child care subsidies because people are doing better economically and moving above the threshold under which they qualify, and also decreases in psychiatric residential treatment services caseloads. The technical institutes formula and bonding, a decrease of $1,057,000 in general funds for the tech institutes due to actual student numbers being 225 students fewer than budgeted in 2015 and a lower bond payment than anticipated. Correctional health care, a decrease of $143,960 in general funds and a decrease in other fund expenditure authority related to the stabilizing of cost trends in the correctional health care system. All told, these reductions will allow additional one-time spending in 2015, and the new bases have been revised in proposing growth of expenditures for 2016. Here's how I propose to spend those one-time dollars. The Emergency and Disaster Fund, $7.9 million. As you know, this fund is spent negative as emergencies and natural disasters such as flooding or tornadoes occur, and then we backfill the fund. Well, this year our bill to backfill the fund is $7.9 million. It includes events like the spring 2014 flooding in southeast South Dakota and the tornadoes in Wessington Springs, as well as disasters that have occurred prior to 2014. This figure also calls for the state to pay 25% of the D&I railroad costs which occurred during the spring 2014 flooding, damaging of the state-owned railroad. FEMA has declared these costs ineligible for reimbursement. However, I believe we should contribute our share as we appeal their decision, and we are appealing that. The next item is Provider Direct Care Hiring Supplement. I'm proposing a $4.125 million expenditure to provide one-time funding to the state's medical providers to help facilities find, hire, and retain direct care staff in their specific facilities. This is not only hospitals, but nursing homes, developmental disability facilities, as well as many other kinds of facilities like this. It's equivalent to a 1.5% increase for community-based providers, but it's a one-time payment. The third and fourth line items are the funds needed to capitalize those captive insurance companies that I described earlier. The first is the property and casualty insurance captive that I dwelled upon. $4 million will capitalize that fund. We're essentially paying it to ourselves, $4 million, but it gives us the capital necessary to hold ourselves out responsibly as an insurance provider, and it'll help us protect our state assets and help keep our rates at levels we can control rather than the marketplace controls. We'll self-insure the captive and also procure reinsurance. We also got there to capitalize $2 million to capitalize a liability insurance captive. We have liability that is being paid by the Housing Authority, the Building Authority, the Science and Technology Authority. Those premiums are being paid by organizations that rarely have a claim. It's essentially throwing money down a hole. Well, let's take possession of that hole and throw it down into our own hole and keep it. So I'm proposing $2 million to establish the liability insurance captive to help our state authorities, similar to the property and casualty captive I just described. Ross Shaft Construction, I'm proposing $3.95 million to help the Science and Tech Authority continue, I should say, the reconstruction of the Ross Shaft. It'll help them invest in its infrastructure and prepare for physics experiments being conducted in the Northern Hills, and in particular the long baseline neutrino experiment, which is the very big experiment that we are very hopeful the Department of Energy will place. And toward that, we must have that Ross Shaft upgraded if we're going to be a competitor for that experiment. And I believe we're the best and the only competitor for that experiment if we do this. $1,500,000 for a South Dakota Conservation Fund. One of the recommendations of the Pheasant Habitat Work Group was to establish a conservation fund to encourage habitat creation or preservation. And this $1.5 million will go towards protecting and enhancing wildlife habitat. And it's not just $1.5 million, though, because it would be designed to match private dollars, and I believe the way it should be structured is it is placed in the fund but not available until the match is provided in the private sector. So only when the fund would grow to $3 million would the dollars become spendable. Then $925,000 for the Department of Education Jobs for America's Graduates program. This will help provide funding for 26 school districts over the course of 2 years to establish and operate a Jobs for America's Graduates program in their school districts. The Jobs for America's Graduates program, or the JAG program, not only helps our kids stay in school and gain the skills they need for success in later life, but it also helps the school districts retain them as students so they don't drop out. And the school districts like this because By taking this one-time money, establishing the program, they keep those kids in the school district and they get the per-student allocation money every year because they're still in school, rather than lose those dollars when the kids drop out. And then, as I mentioned, in my 2016 budget proposal, we're just seeing tremendous take-up of the dual credit demand. So this one-time expenditure would cover us in the current fiscal year for the rest of the 2015 fiscal year, and the budget proposal you saw earlier would cover 2016. The next chart shows additional one-time expenditures. A Big Sioux River flow study, this $500,000 will allow South Dakota to model river flow patterns in southeast South Dakota, where we've experienced repeated flooding over the course of the last several years and many years before that. This would help the state plan and prepare for potential disasters and would enable us to identify the areas that will be inundated by water in given flood situations and the degree to which they will be inundated. Right now, the data is insufficient for us to be able to accurately do that. Tax refunds for the elderly, you've seen this before. $450,000 is the annual appropriation to provide sales and property tax refunds for elderly and disabled persons based on income guidelines. The Department of Health Rural Health Care Tuition Reimbursement Program, this $381,000 in general funds continues to attract practitioners to rural areas. This funding will pay for 2 dentists, 2 nurse practitioners, 1 physician, and 1 physician assistant. Give them reimbursement if they stick to those rural areas of practice. DENR Information Systems Upgrade. This agency has never asked for any increase to general funds under my administration. This $350,000 will allow DENR to make necessary computer upgrades so that their IT systems continue to serve South Dakotans well. They've got an old Fox Pro program that is no longer going to be supported, and it needs to be replaced. Department of Health Rural Health Care Facility Recruitment Program, recruiting healthcare professionals, of course, is a need for South Dakota, and this $302,000 will pay for 44 health professionals practicing in over 30 rural communities. Game Fish and Parks bond payments, this $185,000 will let GFP continue to provide and enhance our state's recreational opportunities. It repays the general fund for any bonding, so this essentially costs the general fund nothing. This will provide for bond payments at Good Earth State Park and Custer State Park. A continuous appropriation, an increase in the continuous appropriations related to the fire premium refund. In total, I'm proposing just under $28 million in new spending based on the reductions in spending we're fortunate to see this year. So those are the one-time expenditures in this chart and the previous one that I'm proposing in FY15. So let's summarize. To boil it down to these revisions for 2015 and proposals for 2016. In FY 2015, we'll see a reduction to our ongoing revenues of just over $10.75 million, an increase in one-time revenues of $6.7 million, reduced expenses of nearly $32 million, new proposed expenditures of nearly $28 million, and a bottom line of 0 for 2015. In FY16, new ongoing revenues of $60 million. That's $60 million on top of the reduced, revised FY15 projection. A reduction of revenue from the FY15 adopted budget of $4 million. The loss of a one-time revenue received in FY15 of $6.7, and then new proposed expenditures of $49.4 million with a bottom line of 0. So here are the total general fund spending figures. In simple terms, both of these years will represent structurally balanced budget. This is the budget proposal for this year and, of course, the 2016 year. We've got total revenues of $1.406 in 15 and those expenditures, and total revenues of $1.441 billion in 2016 and expenditures at that level. So these are my budget proposals for this year that we're in right now and for next year, fiscal year 2016. Of course, there's many policies that are driven by the budget, and the legislature is going to consider this, as well as many other issues this year. Last month, we celebrated 125 years of statehood. We can proudly say that we've balanced our budget every single year, and next year will be our 126th year of a balanced budget. We've prudently set aside rainy day funds that will allow us to address emergencies and seize opportunities available to us. We've kept our taxes among the lowest in America. We've used one-time dollars prudently, ensuring they do not become ongoing obligations. We have a state pension system that is over 100% funded. I want to depart from the script there and reflect on Boston College's Retirement Research Center. Earlier this year, evaluated 150 pension plans, public pension plans in America. All the state plans, all the big city plans like New York and Chicago, where you've got a firefighter plan that's very large, or a teacher's plan that is very large and standalone. If you're in the top 150 in the nation in scale, you are in this review. They looked at the most recently available audited statements. And of course, for most entities, including South Dakota, the FY14 statements were not available. So they looked at fiscal year end 2013. This was over a year ago, that point in time. Of those 150 plans, only 9 were fully funded. And South Dakota was one of those 9. And we are in better shape today than we were a year ago. That's something we can be very proud of. When I go to Governors Association meetings and I talk to governors who are looking at hills that are virtually insurmountable, I feel sorry for them. Their states are a train wreck, and South Dakota is in such great shape because of you. So I thank you for your responsible, adult-like behavior when it comes to money. It's just great. I am very lucky to be governor of a state like South Dakota. We've issued in the last year 2 new executive orders to help us formalize and improve our financial practices, including long-term revenue and expense forecasting. Those plans will be available when you come back to session next year. Capital expenditure budget planning and policies to guide issuance of debt. I think it's one thing to be responsible managers. It's another thing to establish policies that are out there and transparent so that these policies go on to guide our state after we're gone. I want that to happen. And these practices are paying off. We invited the rating agencies to South Dakota last summer. S&P sent some of their people. Moody's sent some of their people. The Lieutenant Governor and Commissioner Dilges went to New York and met with them there. They came to South Dakota, met with us here. And I'm proud to announce that S&P upgraded our state outlook from stable to positive. And what that means is they're essentially telling us that we're on the right track, and if we stay on that track, they will typically, in this situation, upgrade a state to AAA status. That's a status I believe we deserve if we stay true to our values and principles that we and others have put in place. I want to thank you again for joining with me today to hear these proposals. As I said in the past, this is a plan. It's not the plan. I hope you'll see it's the best darn plan. But we'll discuss and we'll decide this. I want to close by thanking South Dakota voters for giving me the opportunity to serve another term. I'm looking forward to next year's legislative session. Beyond this budget, we're going to discuss a lot of issues, from juvenile justice to public health to red tape review to transportation funding. I want to say in particular, regarding transportation funding, every good discussion begins with a specific proposal. And I applaud your interim study committee for putting together a specific proposal. That gives us something to discuss that's concrete. And I know we're all going to have lots of debate about that. I agree with them that this is a year that we need to act to adequately fund our roads. And I thank the interim committee for making a specific proposal to start the discussion. I look forward to having that discussion among many other discussions with you in the next session. Thank you so much for everything you do for your South Dakota. Through your efforts, South Dakota is even stronger today and will be stronger in the future, I know. Thank you.
And that does wrap up Governor Dennis Daugaard as he delivered the budget address for fiscal year 2016. Speaker of the House Brian Gosch has just adjourned everyone, so they may take off and leave for the day. The governor going a little bit over an hour, close to about an hour and a half with his budget. One of the last things he mentioned was thanking the lawmakers for being fiscally responsible throughout the years. He also thanked South Dakota voters for sending him back to the state capitol to kind of be their CEO as he leads our state of South Dakota. He also touched on transportation, talked about it will be a big year as lawmakers take on the 2015 legislative session, that every discussion begins with a proposal. He's looking forward to that proposal and the debate as we tackle the issue of roads in South Dakota. We're going to be doing some interviews here with some state lawmakers to find out what they thought about the governor's budget, those numbers as they unfolded. There were really no major surprises or any major announcements. The total budget for fiscal year 2005 and 2016 was delivered. There's about a 2.5 increase in last year's budget. We're looking at $1.406 billion for last year and $1.441 billion for fiscal year 2016. He talked about why some of those increases are needed and the ask that he will give to state lawmakers as they head back to Pierre in January. It looks like we do have some interviews lined up. In fact, one of our state appropriators is standing by with Kara Hetland. Kara.
Thank you, Stephanie. And joining me is State Senator Deb Peters. Thanks for being here and your reaction to the speech.
You know, they think the governor summed it up very, very well. He says it's his budget, it's his plan, it's not the plan. It's now the time and the action for the legislature. We've now got where the governor wants to go for the next year. And now it's the legislature's time to get down to work, and our fiscal staff will now start analyzing all the data that he put forth. And we'll get to work, and actually we're going to go have an appropriations meeting to start how to gather and where do we want to go and where do we want to focus coming the next session.
And do you agree with the numbers that he lays out, or is that something that you're going to look at as well?
We'll probably take a look at everything as far as some of the different revenue numbers that he's taking a look at. We'll look at this. We'll look at the same economic indicators. I just got back from a fiscal leaders conference and heard not quite the same of what we heard today. So we'll just take a look at the revenue numbers. We'll take a look at some of the one-time things that he's going to adjust in those revenue numbers. We'll also take a look at, you know, his ongoing expenses. But we'll also take a look at some of those savings that he's looking at as well and figure out, well, is there more to the story? Or what, you know, where are the savings and why?
There's one thing that came in on Twitter to us from some teachers who were a little nervous and not happy with the 2% funding increase for education, and wondering if looking at just the overall formula might be in order this time around.
You know, I think the legislature has... we would agree with that statement. That I think we do need to take a look at how we fund education. I think that's one of the initiatives that the legislature will take up this year is how do we fund teachers, specifically how do we fund teachers. You know, it's kind of it might not get done this legislative session just because it's huge. I know the Legislative Long-Term Planning Committee has been looking at education funding, and they've got 1 year down. We've got 1 year to go. I mean, it's a priority for us. I know folks are frustrated with the 2% increase, but you know it's higher than the 1.5 of the Consumer Price Index, so it's better than what it could have been. And again, that's one thing that we'll take a look at over the next 3 or 4 months before we finalize and button up the budget.
All right, Senator Peters, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stephanie, back to you.
All right, thank you. We're joined now by Representative Bernie Hunhoff from Yankton. Of course, my question always, your thoughts on what you heard today?
Well, it was a good detailed speech. It was a $1.4 billion budget, so there should be a lot of details in it. You know, and I appreciate, you know, all the information, but a lot of it is about, you know, how is this going to affect state government? How is real life out there affecting state government? And I think what a lot of us would like to hear, I think a lot of South Dakotans would like to hear is, you know, what is state government going to do to affect real life out in South Dakota? And we've got kids graduating from college with some of the highest debts in the country because they come from poor working class families and our tuition rates are too high. We've got 50,000 South Dakotans without access to health care. We've got public schools who are fighting really hard to just staff their classrooms. And we've got farmers and ranchers who are worried about driving over some of the bridges out there because they don't know if it'll carry the loads of their trucks. We heard little or nothing about all those really major issues. And I know this is a budget address, but I mean, it all does come down to money. And I would have hoped to have heard more about that. Hopefully that's coming in the State of the State speech, but those are critical issues, those and a lot more, and we heard very little about those.
Let me ask you about the suggestion to repeal the risk pool reserve and the Medicaid reserve. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that's actually, the idea of repealing the risk pool is an interesting idea because that's no longer necessary because of the Affordable Care Act. And there's been a lot of worry out here that the Affordable Care Act might be repealed. In fact, that's our best excuse, the best excuse they've had for not embracing Medicaid expansion. We're worried that the Affordable Care Act might go away. I think that's a great signal that the Affordable Care Act is here to stay. It's going to be part of the healthcare world for decades to come. And if we can repeal the risk pool, which was kind of set in place, it failed, but it was kind of set in place to provide access to some people with pre-existing conditions. If we can repeal that, hopefully that opens the door to also talk more about Medicaid expansion.
All right, we'll have to see how everything unfolds during the session. Thank you for joining me, Representative. All right, Kara, we'll throw it down to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And joining me now is State Senator Billy Sutton. Thanks for taking the time and coming here today and your overall reaction to the governor's speech.
I think there were some really good things in the governor's speech as far as some one-time spending. Nothing too earth-shattering. I thought everything was pretty straightforward, and nothing really surprised me too much.
And how about education funding? Some listeners were tweeting at us saying, take a look at the funding formula. Take a look at how to change this so teachers could get paid more.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating thing for us. We've been studying education every year since I've been here, and we come out with proposals, and it seems like they fail once they get here. And we are in a teacher shortage crisis, and we need to do something to address it. I wish we would have heard more of that in this address, but you know, hopefully the legislature can do something, because if we don't do something, I'm afraid that we're going to continue losing our best teachers and not doing anything to get people in the teaching workforce.
You said it was a very straightforward speech, and I'm wondering what you didn't hear that you wish you would have, other than education.
Other than education, I would like to heard discussion of Medicaid expansion. You know, the one thing that doesn't get talked about with Medicaid expansion is that it would cost us very little. The estimates are around $1.5 to $2 million for the first 3 years, each year. But what they don't talk about is how it would actually make our state money. It would actually bring more revenue to our general fund by the expenditures of those federal dollars that we would receive. And so we talk about, you know, a shortage of revenues. You know, we could gain $64 million over the next 6 years, roughly. There's a report out there that was done by 2 professors of economics out of Nebraska that says exactly that. And that's one thing that I think we should be having the conversation about. Not only do you save the hospitals money and hopefully decrease rates and get people covered, you actually make your state money. It's a slam dunk, in my opinion.
What is your approach now? You take these numbers, and what is your approach as you get ready for the 2015 session?
I think we'll have to look through all the numbers, determine, you know, what we view to be important and valid, and the ones that we don't, you know, we'll fight against and try to replace those with maybe measures of our own that we view to be more important. But at the end of the day, we have to reach across the aisle and work with you know, the Republicans. I'm on the Senate side, and that's where we'll be working mostly to determine what our priorities are. And it's our budget now, and we have to remember that. It's a proposal, and the governor said it well. It's not the plan, it's a plan. And now it's the legislature's job to vet the most important issues and to use those issues, you know, what we view to be most important.
All right, State Senator Billy Sutton, thanks so much for your time today. Stephanie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Kara. I'm now joined by Representative Peggy Gibson from Huron. We just heard from Senator Sutton, and he really led into what to look at as we enter the 2015 legislative session. I know we just came out of the budget address for, you know, fiscal year 16, but state lawmakers are already working. You guys have been working on the Jolene's Law Task Force. Quickly tell me about that.
It's Jolene's Law Task Force is a task force dealing with the problem of child sexual abuse. In South Dakota, 1 in 4 girls are molested and 1 in 6 boys. This is a huge problem, and we're trying to come up with some overall solutions to eliminate violence altogether in our state, and we're working collaboratively with some national representatives to eliminate violence and child sexual abuse in South Dakota. So we will be coming forth with a couple of bills to help with some mandatory reporting situations and also to continue the task force into 2015.
Okay. The governor mentioned the Juvenile Justice Initiative. This is something that has been close to you. You've been working on this. What did you think from what you heard today?
I'm very uplifted by that proposal because for a long time I've thought that our juvenile justice system needed reform, and instead of building more prisons, let's help our juveniles recover and get back into the system without being incarcerated, because I feel that does no good. Most of them are in trouble for drug-related causes, and that requires treatment rather than imprisonment. So I'm very excited about that situation, and I've been on House Judiciary now. This will be my 7th year, and so I'm certain it'll come before that committee, and looking forward to getting some reforms in place.
There were really no major announcements today from the governor. I'm curious, what would you have liked to have heard more of?
More for our schools and teachers. I'm going to have the privilege of serving on the Education Committee in the House this year, which is a new proposal or new venue for me. And although my background is in teaching, so the per student allotment, we're only at the 2010 level, and we're going into 2015, so our schools are still way behind. And our teachers need a salary increase. That's been a talk, and I didn't hear one word about increasing our teachers' salaries, and I think we need to address that issue so we can retain our teachers and hire the best of the best for our students in South Dakota, because education to me is absolutely paramount. Education and economic development go hand in hand, and I've always felt that way, and if we treat our teachers and our students properly, then we will economically develop as we should.
All right, we have State Representative Peggy Gibson representing South Dakota and Huron visiting with us today. Thank you very much for coming up.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right, Kara.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I'm joined by State Senator Mike Valley. Thank you, from Mitchell. And you chaired a summer interim study, right, on transportation. Let's talk a little bit about that. We didn't hear a lot in this budget proposal about roads and infrastructure.
Well, I didn't expect to hear anything, and so it was very nice at the end here that he did mention it, and that he thought we did a good job this summer, and that we laid out the principles of things that we need to discuss, and so I was very pleased with that. This is a talk about the general fund, and a lot of people don't realize, but we don't spend any general fund money on our roads, and the opposite is true too. We don't take any of the money that maybe come in from the gasoline users fee, or some people call the gas tax. We don't use that for anything like education or Medicaid. By Constitution, we're constitutionally prohibited from using those funds for those type of things. So I didn't expect any mention of that at all. So I was very gratified at the end for him to talk about the fact that we need to do something with our roads and bridges.
So talk about some of the legislative proposals we'll see about that.
Well, we're looking at several different things, and the thing that the committee talked about was getting our revenue from several different sources so that no one feels all the pain. We were looking at everything from raising the way we fund the gas tax and doing it on the wholesale price of gasoline, because that may go up and down, and since it's such a strong part of anything we do with roads, I mean, we need fuel to dig up the roads, to put them back, to plow them, to fix the potholes, and then we flat lay it on the ground. So it's very sensitive to oil price. So that's why we thought, let's put something, just a part of one of those revenue legs on our stool, to have it be something that deals with oil. And so that's why we put that in. We did it a percentage of the price on vehicles to raise that. It's at 3%, and it's supposed to track the 4% sales tax that we have, and it's never been raised. So those are a couple of the things. And we did the same thing with license plate fees. Didn't raise them a whole lot, just 10%. So, for instance, my car is $60. It'll go to 66. It's not a big increase. And several different items so that there's just a little bit of an increase everywhere, and that way no one feels a whole lot of pain. And I think that's the way we've got to look at it.
And the money then will go toward, I mean, there's a lot of unfinished construction that needs to happen, or repairs that needs to happen?
You know, the easiest way to explain that is our state roads right now are in as good a condition as they've been in for decades. Only 2%, and I look at that by what's poor, because what's poor you got to dig up and redo, okay? We only got 2%. And our fare, which rolls into poor, is only 9%. But at the same funding, both federal and state, in 10 years, we go from 2% to 25% poor. That means a fourth of the state roads we drive on, and 70% of our traffic at this state is on those state roads, will be in poor condition. I mean, they'll be in the condition to dig up. And then what was 9% fare goes to 27%. And the ironic part is that's where our counties and townships are at now. They have beat the state into getting into poor roads because we just haven't invested in them. In fact, 28% of their bridges are structurally deficient. So we cannot afford to have where 70% of our traffic flows to get into that same position. And so that's why it's really important that we take a look at this now. And you can't put it off. And I analogize this to when you were a kid and you played ball and the coach said, you know, you got to play for 32 minutes. You can't wait till the beginning of the fourth quarter to say, all right, guys, we're down 30 points, but we can win this game, so let's get in there. You know, you not only have to pick up that 30 points, but the other team's going to score another 10 or 12 points, and then you got to get ahead. So once you get behind, it gets terrifically hard to come back. And so I think now is the time to do that, and the governor recognized that also. So I'm hopeful we can get something done.
All right, Senator, thank you so much for joining us. Stephanie, back up to you.
All right, thank you, Kara. I'm now joined by Representative Mark Mickelson from Sioux Falls. We were talking just a few minutes ago. A lot of states would like to be in the position that South Dakota is. Give me your thoughts right now.
Well, as you listen to the governor lay out the state's budget, and we're fortunate to be up 3 to 4% in ongoing revenue, and that allows the three core constituency groups of our budget, the state employees, education, and social services, to share that 3.5%, and that gets split between the governor's recommended 2% increase in rate and then population growth in those different constituency groups. So we're in a pretty solid place from a state budget standpoint.
While the governor was giving his speech, we were pretty active on social media today. We had a few questions that came in. One that came in is in regards to the property tax reduction fund, and the individual is curious, in the end, will taxpayers have to pay more because their taxes will have to go up? Have you thought about that yet?
That's a great question, and I'm sure if the answer to that question is yes, we won't pass it, but the governor wouldn't recommend that. In 1986 or 87, we passed video lottery. Part of that was we were going to use the money to reduce property taxes to fund education at a higher level, so that has been called the Property Tax Reduction Fund, which is funded by video lottery. And the governor now, 30 years plus later, is renaming the fund just to say this is revenue that comes from video lottery.
I'm going to have you take out your crystal ball before we say goodbye. So far, we've heard from a few of our lawmakers. Transportation, they foresee this will be a big issue. I'm still hearing a lot about education and Medicaid. Any thoughts at this point what the big issues may be?
Well, transportation is going to be a big issue. There is a need out there. There was a summer commission that has a specific recommendation, and that will consume a fair amount of the debate this legislative session. There are strong feelings on both sides of the Medicaid expansion decision that the Affordable Care Act laid out. Certainly wasn't anything that was proposed today. There will be discussions on that front. We'll see where they go. Education, really was just a status quo kind of budget for education, I thought. Certainly in the scope of a large state budget like this, our technical schools and our technical institutes, when we have so many employers talking about workforce development and the training and the trades and the investments that we need to make there, I would guess that will be an issue that we'll discuss and perhaps attempt to address to some extent.
All right, that is Representative Mark Mickelson. Thank you for coming up and visiting with us. We'll see you back here in January.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
All right, and that does wrap up SDPB's coverage of the governor's budget address for fiscal year 2016. Of course, our crew will be back here as the governor and all of the delegates are sworn in, and the inaugural events take place on January 10th, followed by the State of the State address the next Tuesday. Our crew will remain in Pierre, keeping you up to date on everything that's going on, whether it's in a committee meeting or floor action. Join us, look online at sdpb.org. Go to our State House page so you can be more in tune to all of our legislative coverage. On behalf of all of us with South Dakota Public Broadcasting, I'm Stephanie Rissler. For Kara Hetland, thanks for tuning in.
State House program funding provided by the South Dakota Bar Foundation, the educational and charitable arm of South Dakota lawyers and judges.